Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day. My name is Zulaikha Binti Sarip and today I'm honored to present my individual presentation and data analysis for our Sulam COP C.0 project entitled Comparative Analysis of the Locomotor 2-step test and 2-minute step test in evaluating functional endurance among community older adults. This project was conducted as a part of our physiotherapy and gerontology course at the Faculty of Health Sciences in UiTM Puncak Alam. Okay, so for the project overview, the project is called Community Engagement with Older People COP C.0. It's a community-based initiative under Sulam, which is Service Learning Malaysia, aimed at connecting academic learning with real-life community service. It is organized by Specialistic Bachelor of Physiotherapy student. We carry out 3 structured sessions between April and June 2025 at the High Performing Gyms of UiTM Puncak Alam. So our aim was to enhance the older adults' functional capacity while applying our theoretical knowledge through a real-life engagement. For the background of our projects, in total, this project involved 138 participants, consisting 71 older adults as the main participant, 62 physiotherapy students as a facilitator, and also 5 lecturers as supervisor. Each session included comprehensive health screening and physical assessment to ensure participant safety and optimal engagement. The health screening and assessment conducted at the session included blood pressure screening, blood glucose screening, BMI, and also PARQ. And the physical and functional assessments such as sit-to-stand, hand grip strength test, time up and go test, single leg stand test, 2-minute step test, locomotor 2 minutes, locomotor 2-step test, and many more. There are also educational and exercise activities such as talk on sarcopenia, fall prevention, exercise, progressive stress resistance training, cognitive activities, and also nutritional talk. For this project, I selected 2 key outcome measures, which is the Locomotor 2-step test and also 2-minute step test. So, the Locomotor 2-step test is purposely to assess lower limb function, especially walking ability and gait performance. It also assesses the lower limb functional endurance and also gait capacity. The test requires the participant to take 2 maximum strides forwards and the total of the distance is measured. It is so useful to evaluating mobility decline and fall-off risk in older adults, while the 2-minute step test is purposely to measure aerobic endurance and functional fitness. It measures aerobic endurance by counting the knee lifts performed in 2 minutes. It is a practical field test for older adults to assess cardiovascular fitness and also functional capacity. The correlation between these 2 tests is both tests assess the lower limb function and endurance, though from a slightly different physiological perspectives. Research suggests a moderate strong correlation between such as functional tests in older adults. Improvement in balance, strength, and mobility contribute to better outcome in both areas, as supported by Matsubayashi and colleagues in 2019. For the cut-off values, the Locomotor 2-step test uses step length to head ratio. Values below 1.3 indicate low locomotor function, while 1.3 and above reflect a normal function. For the 2-minute step test, recommended cut-off scores for adult aged 60 to 64 are 87 steps for men and 75 steps for women. Lower scores suggest reduced endurance capacity. Okay, so the next slide is the slide that shows participants' data for both outcome measures who completed 3 series. So this table displays the data from 20 patients who completed all 3 sessions. I tracked their performance in both the Locomotor 2-step test and also 2-minute step test across these 3 sessions. These individual data points allowed me to assess their functional progress over time. Okay, so the next slide shows the individual changes from series 1 to series 3. So at the table, I add 1 more column at the last column to show their changes between series 3 to series 1 to series 3. So By analyzing the data, I found that the most of participants improved in the 2-minute step test, showing gains in the aerobic endurance. However, many participants shows a minimal improvement in the 2-step test, and only a few of them showed a positive gains in both tests. So, this suggests that the endurance-based activity were more effective in enhancing sustained aerobic effort, while the power of strike-focused locomotor tests may require more targeted training. So, the next part is the data comparisons by mean score. After extracting all the raw data from the table, I insert the data to the Google Sheets to find the mean scores. Looking at the mean scores, the Locomotor 2-step test improved from 1.3 to 1.6 from Series 1 to Series 3, and 2-minute step test improved from 97.2 steps to 111.2 steps from Series 1 to Series 3. This result reflects an overall enhancement in functional endurance and mobility. It shows that, on average, my participants were able to walk and step better after the 3 training sessions. This scatter plot shows the relation between these 2 tests, the 2-step test and the 2-minute step test. Each dot here represents the means of the participant result from those 3 series. When we look at the dots, we can see that as a participant improved in 2-minute step test, and they also show improvement in 2-step test. This means there is a positive relationship between these 2 tests. In other words, those who had better endurance could also step better in the locomotor test. This shows that endurance training helped improve both their ability to keep stepping for a long time and their ability to perform strong quick tests. It proved that both endurance and stepping ability are connected. When we train one, we also help improve the other. So, for the 2-step test, performance increased from session 1, which is the mean is 1.3, to session 3, which is the mean is 1.6. This 2-step test performance show a positive trend, peaking in the final session, which is the session 3. This will indicate that on average, participants' performance is in the short, intense stepping task improved throughout all the 3 sessions. While the 2-minute step test performance increased from session 1, which is the mean is 97.2, to session 3, which is 111.2. The performance is increased steadily across all sessions, peaking in the session 3. This indicates an overall improvement in the functional endurance over the course of the session. While the interpretation for the both tests showed an increase from the first session to the last session, this suggests a positive association between this improvement for this group under this scenario. The 2-step test is the primary measure for endurance here. It is directly counts how much work or steps that can be done over a sustained period, which is 2 minutes, while the Locomotor 2-step test likely measures something like stepping speed, agility, or short burst capacity. While not purely endurance, performance in it is related to ability to perform stepping efficiently, which is relevant to endurance. So, both Locomotor 2-step test and 2-minute step test assess functional endurance, particularly lower limb function, but they evaluate slightly different components, which is the main focus for the 2-step test is to assess the power, strength, and the stride length, while the 2-minute step test is to assess the cardiovascular endurance and also step frequency. So the measure outcome for Locomotor 2-step test is the distance covered in two large steps, while the 2-minute step test is the number of steps completed in 2 minutes. And also, the physiological system involved in locomotor two-step test is the musculoskeletal balance and power, while for 2-minute step test is cardiovascular and muscular endurance. So now, if we consider how performance changed from the beginning to the end, both tests improve. This indicates that participants who did better on the one test by the end tended to also do better on the other test by the end, suggesting a positive relationship in their changes. The direct correlation is the increase in the number of steps taken in the 2-minute step test. The endurance measure from session 1 to session 3 accompanied by increase in the 2-step test score over the same period. This suggests a positive association between improvement in endurance and improvement in related stepping ability for the older adults. And what does it mean for endurance? It indicates that as a participant's ability to sustain stepping for 2 minutes got better, their ability to perform a short quick stepping task 2 minutes 2 step also got better according to this data. This could mean that improvement in fundamental stepping mechanics or overall conditioning benefited both the short burst and also the sustained effort test. So to conclude, the CEOP sequence or community engagement program effectively enhanced the endurance in older adults. Improvement in both 2-minute step test and 2-step test highlight the interconnectedness of cardiovascular endurance and also functional mobility. This underlines the importance of holistic training approach in supporting independent and safe movement among the aging population. So, from this project, I conclude that CEOP 6.0 program successfully improved aerobic endurance and also lower limb functional in older adults, which is the both test shows a positive improvement after 3 sessions. This means the participants not only increase their endurance but also improve their key performance. The improvement in both areas shows that endurance training in CEOP was effective. Endurance played a key role in helping older adults to move better and for a longer period without getting tired easily. This emphasizes how endurance plays a crucial role in maintaining mobility and reducing fatigue, enabling older adults to move better and longer in their daily life. So for my personal reflection, I think this project deepened my understanding on how endurance exercise positively impact multiple domains of the older adult's health. I learned to apply clinical outcome measures to track real-world improvement and saw how endurance is vital for functional independence. And last but not least, I think engaging directly with the community improved my leadership, teamwork, and also empathy as a physiotherapy student. So here, these are some moments captured during this session, reflecting the active participation and meaningful interaction that made this project so rewarding. With that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.